Glad Crane wants to know, I need tips for sliders. I feel like I lost mine recently and I can't seem to find it. Dude, 100%. I agree with you and I sympathize with you, because like I just talked about earlier with my slider, it comes and goes. I think the most important thing that I wish I did better at an early age, because honestly, my slider was probably best when I was like 18, 19, and I wasn't even really thinking about all these deals with it. I was just kind of throwing it. Was like jotting down some just personal notes of when it is good. Like, what are the things that you're feeling? What is the feedback that you're getting at release? Like, what are these things that you're kind of doing to entice that nasty pitch? But for me, the biggest message I'd get across within this particular question is when people kind of come to the understanding of their slider being lost, right? They lose the feel for it. It's not as good. What they try to do is they try to manipulate it. They try to do more with it because they know it's good from a physical standpoint. They try to do more from a physical standpoint, which usually when pitchers try to do more from a physical standpoint, that means doing those things early. And there's a lot of things within pitching that we actually want to resist doing early. It's like late acceleration, especially with the sliders. You get real cement mixery when you try to make a slider slide early. So just a simple tip that I could give you pertaining to the slider is A, obviously keep it simple, but B, late. Think fastball, and then at the last second slider, because if you're thinking slider, make it nasty, it's going to be early. You're going to get on the side of the ball. And then that's how I would perceive you creating like this cement mixer type slider. This is all personal experience, but I've always had, when I've had a good slider, when my slider's been the best, I get a really a comfortable grip that I don't really have to like sit there and while I grip it in a game be like, oh, this doesn't feel good. Like comfortable grip I think is the first and foremost piece. But then when I throw it, I feel like I'm throwing a heater. I'm letting the grip do the work. I know that's easier said than done, but it's not that I'm like feeling like, oh, my wrist is supinated and I'm coming around it and I'm doing all this. Like that could be a cue for a lot of successful slider pitchers. But speaking from personal experience, I'm thinking fastball, everything's natural, fastball. And then at the last second, that's when I initiate my slider and I get my fingers kind of around, not so much around, but just on the side and create that side spin.